So Rand Paul was in this hearing of Anthony Blinken. Blinken, of course, is there representing the Biden administration, and this is about the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Now, I want to pause on that for a second. Imagine having a hearing, a 5+ hour hearing, and that was just one day. I think it went on multiple days, on the Afghanistan withdrawal. So nobody requested a hearing on the 20 years of lies and war crimes and profiteering and exploitation and imperialism. Nobody asked for a hearing on that stuff. Nobody asked for a hearing on how we aligned with warlords with child sex slaves. Nobody asked about that. What they want a hearing on is the withdrawal. The best part of the entire time we were there, the most orderly and successful part, that's the part they have a problem with. So now 98% of the questions, he's just being pelted with hawkish garbage. But Rand Paul actually chimed in, and this is a great time to bring up I think it's the Onion article that said, heartbreaking, worst person you know made a good point, or something along those lines. So here is Rand Paul with a line of inquiry to Blinken about the follow-up drone strike after the airport attack. Watch.
The guy the Biden administration droned, was he an aid worker or an ISIS-K operative?
The administration is, of course, reviewing that strike, and I'm sure that a full assessment will be forthcoming.
So you don't know if it was an aid worker or an ISIS-K operative?
I can't speak to that, and I can't speak to that in this setting in any event.
So you don't know or won't tell us?
I don't know because we're reviewing it.
Well, see, you'd think you'd kind of know before you off somebody with a Predator drone, whether he's an aid worker or he's an ISIS-K. See, the thing is this isn't just you. It's been going on for administration after administration. The Obama administration droned hundreds and hundreds of people. And the thing is there is blowback to that. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but I see these pictures of these beautiful children that were killed in the attack. If that's true, and not propaganda, if that's true, guess what? Maybe you created hundreds or thousands of new potential terrorists from bombing the wrong people. So you got to know we can't sort of have an investigation after we kill people. We have an investigation before we kill people.
How sad is that a Republican senator is correctly lecturing the Biden administration? Hey, don't kill innocent civilians with drone strikes. So what happened? Listen, we know what happened. Biden correctly withdrew from Afghanistan. You had nothing but a week-long lust for vengeance and war and nonsense from the media. All they wanted was for the Biden administration to stay. They called him weak. They called him every negative thing in the book, and they applied massive pressure on him. They drove his poll numbers down on the issue of Afghanistan. So Biden felt like after there was the attack from ISIS on the airport, which killed not just, it killed plenty of Afghans. It also killed the Taliban. It also killed American soldiers. So we all got it in that strike. To not look weak to retaliate to that, they just picked a target and bombed. And Biden reportedly said behind the scenes, hey, spare nothing to go after the people who did this. Well, guess what? You don't put your trust in the Pentagon or the CIA or whoever was responsible for that drone strike because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And that was it was just too perfect of an encapsulation of what the war was for the entire 20 years. They killed a U.S. aid worker who was putting water bottles in his car. They thought, oh my God, he's loading it with bombs. And they also killed children in this drone strike. It's not propaganda. We knew immediately after. There are people on the ground. So they killed innocent people in a drone strike after the attack on the airport, and then they went around telling the media, we just got ISIS. And guess what? The media ran with it like the stenographers they are. They ran with it. They pretended, oh yes, well, the authorities told me this, so it must be true. Don't you view your job as to fact check them and to get real information? Why are you just a stenographer to them? That's exactly what they are. They're stenographers to them. So that's what the media did. And everybody thought in the aftermath, they just got an ISIS person. Turns out, it wasn't an ISIS person. It was innocent civilians, including children. So even Rand Paul's like, what are you doing? And now the reason he's like this, the influence in his life was his dad. His dad is a real hardcore libertarian. Libertarians happen to be correct on foreign policy stuff. They're committed non-interventionists. They're also right on drug war stuff. They want to legalize, tax, and regulate drugs. I don't know if they want to tax them, but they want to legalize them. So this is the influence of his father. He's not as libertarian as his father was, but he's libertarian-ish. And so sometimes on foreign policy, he makes a decent point. And that's exactly what he's doing here. And the most chilling part of that back and forth is when ultimately Rand Paul gets Blinken to admit, I don't know who we killed. Well, that's exactly the problem. That's exactly the problem. You don't know who we killed. You have no idea. So why did you press the button? Imagine pressing the button in that situation. Imagine ordering the pressing of the button in that situation. Totally unacceptable. Now, I'll finish with this, guys. People were talking about, Ben Shapiro and others were talking about, we must impeach Biden. Why? Over the withdrawal from Afghanistan, where we got over 100,000 people out of the country. Doing a popular thing like pulling out of Afghanistan. Impeach him over that. Nobody said impeach him when he illegally bombed Syria twice. Nobody said impeach him when he massacred a civilian with a drone. This is the one time that this serious issue is being brought up in this hearing on the withdrawal. The worst part of the withdrawal. The attack on the airport and this retaliatory drone strike that killed civilians. This is the worst part of the withdrawal. Nobody's focusing on that. Nobody's focusing on the drone strike. Rand Paul's the only one. So really, Blinken is getting badgered from the right, where the implication of everything everybody's saying is you should stay in, except for Rand Paul. Rand Paul's the only one who's saying, hey, this drone strike is not okay, it's not acceptable. But again, nobody's calling for impeachment over this. Nobody's calling for impeachment over the illegal bombing of Syria, which happened twice. Illegal occupation of Syria as well. Talk about terrible priorities. Talk about our government being nothing but a giant representative of the military-industrial complex. Well, here we are. Credit to Biden for pulling out, but no credit at all for a drone strike that killed innocent civilians. It makes him a war criminal. It does. And look at how nonchalant they are. Oh, we're looking into it. Oh, you're looking into it. You're looking into it. After you assassinated an aid worker and children. Totally unacceptable. Credit to Rand Paul for giving this line of questioning. I'd like to hear a lot more of this line of questioning, perhaps from Democrats holding their own administration accountable, but we'll see. Highly doubt that happens.